The world of politics, business, and religion is shifting rapidly, with new developments shaping the future. From President Trump's latest executive maneuvers to a growing rebellion against Tesla, and even a major security blunder within the White House, these are the stories you need to know. President Donald Trump has rescinded an executive order that targeted the Paul Weiss law firm just days after signing it. The order initially threatened the firm's federal contracts and attorney security clearances due to its past ties with Mark Pomerantz, who was involved in the Manhattan District Attorney's investigation into Trump. However, the White House now says the order has been revoked following a meeting with firm chair Brad Karp. The firm has agreed to provide $40 million in pro bono legal services for administration-backed causes, abandon diversity, equity, and inclusion considerations in hiring, and pledge not to discriminate based on political beliefs. Critics argue this move sets a dangerous precedent, raising concerns that legal firms could be pressured into aligning with political interests. The American Bar Association and legal scholars have expressed alarm, warning that such actions could undermine the independence of the legal profession. The White House, however, insists that the decision aligns with Trump's broader campaign promises. In a win for wildland firefighters, President Trump has signed a Republican-backed bill making a 4-year-old pay raise permanent. Initially introduced under President Biden's infrastructure law, the raise provides an additional $20,000 per year to many firefighters. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum praised the decision, calling firefighters the embodiment of the American spirit. Republican Congressman Mike Simpson also applauded the measure, saying it would help recruitment and retention efforts. However, at the same time, the Department of Government Efficiency, led by Elon Musk, has eliminated thousands of federal jobs, including 3,400 positions at the U.S. Forest Service. Many of those affected were responsible for prescribed burns, forest thinning, and wildfire logistics. Critics warn these cuts could make firefighting efforts more dangerous and less effective. Senator Patty Murray has raised concerns, arguing that the administration is creating new risks for those battling wildfires. Affected workers have called the layoffs reckless, with one wilderness ranger stating, "These heartless firings will lead to the loss of lives and property." Some employees have been reinstated by court order, but many remain uncertain about their futures. More Tesla owners are ditching their vehicles in response to Elon Musk's growing role within the Trump administration. According to Edmunds, Tesla trade-ins for non-Tesla vehicles have tripled compared to last year. This trend follows nationwide protests labeled Tesla takedowns, where demonstrators have targeted Musk's government role and the policies associated with it, especially workforce cuts and reductions in government aid programs. Some former Tesla owners have even posted videos destroying their cars in protest, while Tesla showrooms and charging stations have been vandalized. Musk himself has not commented, but President Trump has vowed to classify these attacks as domestic terrorism. New data shows the global Catholic population has grown by 1.15% over the past 2 years, reaching 1.406 billion. Africa remains a major driver of this growth, with a 3.31% increase, bringing the continent's Catholic population to 281 million. Meanwhile, the Americas continue to house nearly half of the world's Catholics, with Brazil leading the way at 182 million believers. Growth in Asia was slower at just 0.6%, with the Philippines and India making up the largest Catholic communities in the region. Europe, despite being home to 20.4% of Catholics, saw the slowest growth, increasing by only 0.2%. Oceania, on the other hand, experienced a 1.9% increase. However, a challenge facing the church is the decline in priests, particularly in South America, Africa, and Central America, where shortages are becoming a growing concern. A shocking national security breach has exposed details of classified U.S. military strikes due to a simple mistake. The Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, was mistakenly added to a Signal group chat containing sensitive military discussions about U.S. operations in Yemen. Goldberg, believing the invitation was a joke, joined a group labeled Houthi PC Small Group. Inside, high-ranking officials, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Vice President J.D. Vance, and the Secretary of State Marco Rubio, were openly discussing classified details, including target locations and weapon packages. At first, Goldberg suspected the messages were fake, but when the attack proceeded exactly as described, he realized the breach was real. The National Security Council has since confirmed the authenticity of the chat and launched an internal review. Trump, when questioned about the incident, dismissed the concerns and took the opportunity to criticize The Atlantic, calling it not much of a magazine. President Trump is calling for the removal of his portrait from the Colorado state capitol, claiming the artwork is intentionally unflattering. He posted on Truth Social saying, "Nobody likes a bad picture or painting of themselves, but the one in Colorado was purposefully distorted." He even compared it to the same artist's portrait of Barack Obama, suggesting that she must have lost her talent as she got older. Trump claims many Coloradans have demanded the portrait be taken down, and he says he is simply speaking on their behalf. Colorado Governor Jared Polis responded with a statement noting that the state capitol has long displayed portraits of past presidents and governors. He also referenced a 2018 controversy when Trump's portrait spot was briefly replaced with one of Vladimir Putin after a failed fundraising effort by Republican lawmakers. After spending 38 days in the hospital battling double pneumonia, Pope Francis has returned to the Vatican. Riding in the front seat of a Fiat 500L with oxygen tubes still attached, Francis made a brief stop at St. Mary Major Basilica before heading back to Vatican City. Earlier that day, he had appeared on a hospital balcony where he greeted a crowd and pointed out a woman holding yellow flowers, saying, "Brava!" Doctors say the 87-year-old pontiff faced a complex infection involving bacteria, viruses, and fungi, along with low blood counts and early kidney trouble. Twice in February, he experienced serious respiratory distress, requiring non-invasive ventilation. However, his medical team assured the public that he remained alert and was never intubated. Now back at the Vatican, Francis will continue receiving 24-hour medical support while resuming his papal duties. That's all for tonight's news update. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue to monitor these stories and bring you the latest developments. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a good night. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.